Welcome to The Explainer. So today we are going to crack open the manager's toolbox. We're going to look at the hidden science behind pretty much every single business decision you can think of. You ever wonder why your coffee costs what it does? Or why that brand new phone is just so expensive when it first comes out? Well, it's not random at all. There is absolutely a science to it. And you know what? To really get it, we're going to build our own business together. Let's say a coffee shop, right from the very first decision. All right, let's get into it. First up, we need to understand the fundamental problem that literally every single business on the planet faces. This whole idea is called managerial economics. But look, don't let the name fool you. This isn't just boring theory. Think of it more like a practical playbook, a toolkit that helps managers take all these confusing, messy problems and turn them into clear, winning decisions. So what's that core problem? Well, at the heart of all economics, it really boils down to one simple thing: scarcity. We all want, well, everything, right? Unlimited wants. But our resources, time, money, people, materials, they're all limited. And that forces every single business, from our little coffee shop to a massive tech giant, to constantly make some really tough choices. Okay, so let's get back to our coffee shop. The very first question we have to ask ourselves is a big one. What do our future customers actually want? So when we talk about what customers want, we're really talking about demand. And that's not just about wanting coffee. It's about being willing and able to buy it. And a whole bunch of things influence that, right? The price of our coffee is the obvious one. But what about the average income of people living nearby? That's huge. Or hey, what about that tea shop right next door? That's a substitute. And you better believe its price matters to us too. So that leads to a really important question. What happens if we decide to raise the price of a latte by, say, 50 cents? To answer that, we have to understand this absolutely crucial concept called demand elasticity. And let me tell you, getting this right can mean the difference between making a profit and, well, closing up shop. What elasticity basically does is measure how much our sales change when we change the price. If demand is elastic, a small price change causes a big drop in sales. But if it's inelastic, we can raise the price and people will pretty much keep buying. Think about it for our coffee shop. If our coffee is seen as this unique, must-have luxury, demand is probably inelastic. We can raise the price and our revenue will actually go up. But if people just see it as another cup of joe, demand is elastic. Raise that price even a little bit, and boom, so many customers walk away that our total revenue actually falls. Okay, so we've got a handle on what our customers might want, but the next big question is, can we even afford to open our doors? And to figure that out, we have to talk about costs. Now, every business really has two main types of costs. First, you've got your fixed costs. These are things you have to pay no matter what, like the rent for the shop or salaries. You pay them even if you sell 0 coffees. Then you have variable costs. These are the costs that go up with every single coffee we sell. Think coffee beans, milk, paper cups. And understanding this split, it's just absolutely vital. And it's pretty simple, right? You just add those two together, your fixed costs and your variable costs, and that gives you your total cost. The basic rule for survival is really straightforward. The money you bring in, your revenue, has to be bigger than that number. If it's not, well, the coffee shop doesn't have much of a future. And this leads us to something called break-even analysis. Basically, it's a way to figure out the absolute minimum amount of coffee we need to sell just to cover all our costs. It's that point where you're not losing money, but you're not making any either. This calculation gives our owner her magic number. It's the baseline for survival. It's how many cups she needs to sling just to keep the lights on. But of course, our little coffee shop isn't on a deserted island, right? It doesn't exist in a vacuum. We have to think about the competition. And that brings us to this idea of market structure. The kind of market you're in basically dictates how much power you have over your prices. At one extreme, you have pure competition. There are tons of sellers, everyone's product is identical, and you have 0 pricing power. You're a price taker. You just have to accept the going rate. At the other extreme is a monopoly. One seller, total control. You're the price maker. And of course, most businesses, like ours, fall somewhere in between. Our coffee shop? It's most likely in what's called monopolistic competition. What does that mean? It means that, yeah, there are other coffee shops out there, but maybe our unique latte art or our special organic blend of beans or just our amazing customer service, that stuff gives us some leeway in what we can charge. We're trying to differentiate ourselves to get just a little bit of that pricing power. Okay, this is it, the moment of truth. This is where we take everything we've just talked about, demand, our costs, the competition, and we smash it all together to finally put a price tag on our coffee. So, what's the right way to do it? Well, there are a few common strategies. We could go with cost plus pricing, super simple, you just add a markup to your total cost. Or if we think our shop offers a truly special, one of a kind experience, we could try value based pricing. That's where you price based on what the customer thinks it's worth. Each path has its pros and cons, and the right one really depends on what our ultimate goal is for the business. All right, so we've put together our basic business playbook. But here's the thing, the game is always changing. Because in the real world, that playbook is just the starting line. Think about it, for our coffee shop. Rapidly changing tech, that could mean we need a new mobile ordering app just to keep up. Globalization, that might totally change where we get our beans from and what they cost. And shifting customer needs, man, that happens in an instant. All of a sudden, oat milk is the new must-have ingredient, and we have to adapt. And that's why all this stuff matters so much. Managerial economics isn't just about academic concepts in a textbook. It's the real-world framework for making smart decisions. These tools, they help you tune out all the noise, focus on what really, truly matters, and make the absolute best choice you can with the information you've got. So there you have it. The manager's toolbox is now yours. Looking at everything we've covered, demand, costs, the competition, what's the very first decision you would make for your business? Think about it, because your answer might just reveal what kind of manager you'd be. Thanks for joining us for this explainer.